This is Max Shears, a pro boxing fan. We're like joined today in Dubai for the first time in person by Duke McKenzie. Duke, we've done so many over Zoom. First of all, it's a delight to be in person with you. How are we finding Dubai?
Do you know what? Dubai's really changed since the last time I've been here. It's like Vegas in some ways. It's really like happening. The place is absolutely buzzing. There's so many people here. I've never seen so many women at a press conference before. It's ridiculous. And you know, we're in quite a unique position today because they say this is the first world heavyweight title fight in Dubai between Gasev and Pulev. So, like I say, it's a unique position they find themselves in. I'm quite excited, to be honest with you. I didn't think I would be, but I am. I'm going down to the gym in a minute and have a little workout.
Definitely. Before we break down that card, I want to talk about Jukebox. Obviously, you're here doing some interviews. I'm not just saying this. I think you are genuinely one of the nicest men in boxing. Also, every time I interview, every single comment, they like how you tell the truth. They like your honesty. Talk to me about your channel, a new journey.
Yeah, I'm starting my own sort of YouTube boxing channel now, Jukebox, because I just think, you know, people deserve the truth, and I believe that if you don't try to gaslight people, and you just speak your truth, and you don't try to jazz things up, and you just tell people exactly what's happening in the sport of boxing, they'll appreciate that. The public aren't fools; they're not stupid. They know the score. They know what they're watching. So I'm going to just try and put a fresh look, a different take on boxing as a former world champion. I think my insight should be quite informative.
Definitely, I completely agree. And now let's talk about obviously why we're in Dubai, IBA. First of all, the amateur championships. We were speaking off camera, obviously, about your son, so you're in a great position to tell that story. As an amateur, we've seen a lot of amateurs turn over to pro maybe too soon, and that might involve financial troubles. Obviously, the IBA are offering a massive cash prize, fighting on the biggest platform. I think I heard over 100 countries are in this competition. For you, who's been a fighter, how good of an opportunity is this for the amateur fighters to really show what they've got on the world stage?
Well, it's a fantastic opportunity for the amateur boxers now. The IBA, International Boxing Association, are effectively bringing all martial arts sports under one umbrella, and they're going to have all martial arts all fighting presumably on the same show, or if least not on the same show. They're going to be running enough events to enhance the reputation of all martial arts sports, but everybody's going to get paid. They're talking about injecting a lot of financial cash into the sport of boxing, which is only going to be great for the grassroots, you know, for the young boys that are coming through and girls that are coming through in the sport of boxing now. Guys and girls that don't have jobs, that want to dedicate themselves to the sport of boxing, will be able to do that with their cash injection. Because if they start winning things, they're going to get paid. If they get paid, they're going to be able to pay their rent or their mortgage, as the case may be. They may even get enough money to put down on a mortgage on a flat where they can live their lives effectively, go to the gym effectively, and get better results in their careers.
And then I want to touch on obviously IBA Pro. We've got Kubrat Pulev versus Murat Gassiev. Obviously WBA regular title on the line. I think I heard it's the first time a world title has been fought for in Dubai. So obviously it's record breaking, it's history making. How do you see that fight going?
I think for this WBA regular World Heavyweight Championship, which is on between Gassiev and Pulev, I think I slightly lean towards Pulev on experience. I think he may be able to just turn back the clock and come away with a victory. A lot will depend on what these guys have got left. Pulev is 44 years of age. So, you know, there's a lot of miles on that clock. He's boxed the likes of Klitschko, he's boxed Anthony Joshua, and, you know, he's been around the block and some. So a lot will depend on what he's got left in terms of not only ambition, but what's left in the tank. So the jury will be out, and we'll have to wait and see. But my money would be on him. The smart money would be on him to win.
Definitely. No, obviously, if he did win, there was talks of him maybe fighting Moses Itauma instead of Gassiev. Let's just say either winner. No, we don't know what will happen until Friday night, but either winner. Is Moses Itauma on that level yet, or is he too good for these guys?
Moses Itauma is ready for these guys. Bearing in mind, I've just said that Pulev is 44 years of age, so that will tell you, really, effectively, he's ready to go. Moses Itauma is no longer a precocious talent they're going to have to let him off the reins and let him fight for a bona fide championship of the world. He's that good. Will he win it? Against these kind of guys, he wins. Because we're talking about Pulev and Gassiev as being, the regular, whatever that means, the regular WBA regular world heavyweight champion. So he's not fighting Oleksandr Usyk, who's the elite champion, but he's ready for these guys, undoubtedly.
Definitely, and you touched on the man that I want to talk about next, Oleksandr Usyk. Obviously, we've spoken about Moses versus Usyk, maybe too soon. This week, Oleksandr Usyk said that he wants to come back and fight Deontay Wilder. First of all, you've been a fighter, and where does that inspiration comes from to fight Deontay Wilder? And is that a fight you want to see next?
It's a fight that Oleksandr deserves, in my opinion. Nobody deserves it more. He's beaten everybody who is anybody in the heavyweight division to date. That's why he remains unbeaten. Beaten Joshua twice. He's beaten Fury twice. He's beaten Daniel Dubois now. So there are no more big names, big scalps for him to demolish. Deontay Wilder is still a name but not a threat. Still a big name in the sport, but no longer a threat. So Usyk's looking at his pension money now, and you can't blame him. Beats Wilder, that's another tick box. Then he's beaten all of the modern current heavyweights that mean anything on the planet, and then he might retire, and then again he might not.
Yeah, and then last one on that one, you said no threat. Deontay Wilder, how much of a chance would you get? I know obviously he's always got that one-shot power, and if anyone does, it is Deontay Wilder, but we've not seen it in his last few fights. How much of a chance would you give him against Oleksandr Usyk?
Well, you've asked the question, what chance would I give Deontay Wilder of winning? And I have to reiterate what I've said previously. He's got two chances, slim and none. Can't beat Oleksandr Usyk. I don't know who does beat Oleksandr Usyk. The only person that beats Oleksandr Usyk is probably himself, if he carries on for too long, or if he gets mugged one night and gets the crap beaten out of him by a few gangsters that decide to batter him and throw him in the back of the car and drive him off the edge of a cliff. That will beat him. But I sincerely don't expect Oleksandr to get beat. He's going to retire from the sport of boxing, an undefeated, undisputed, one of the greatest world champions that's ever graced our sport.
Definitely. Now, Duke, I'm not going to keep you too much longer. Just the last topic. I know you're not a fan of the fight, but we are around a week out now. Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. I don't think I've spoken to you about this fight. Just what do you make of it a week out?
On a personal level, I don't think that the Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight should be happening. That's just on my personal level. For health and safety reasons. You've just seen a fight with Jai Apataya just last weekend. Big punching guy, world champion, has just put somebody in hospital with a broken vertebra in his neck and other serious injuries. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Now, if Anthony Joshua goes into this fight with Jake Paul on a serious level and catches Jake Paul with a serious punch, he will do far more damage than that. So, from a health and safety perspective, I hope the fight doesn't happen. But from a commercial perspective, the fight has to happen because this fight generates money. And that's why anybody's in the sport of boxing, that's what they're in the sport for, to generate money. However, money's no good to you if you can't spend it. So, like I say, on a personal level, I wouldn't like to see this fight take place, but they tell me it is going to take place. So, I just hope Anthony Joshua gets him out of there quickly, and both the boys don't get hurt seriously enough where they can't go home to their family.
Definitely not. Just last two before I let you shoot off. Simon Jordan said this fight is everything that's wrong with boxing. I mean, obviously about that fight, but also just the overall structure of boxing right now. We spoke off camera and it does sell. Everyone's going to watch that fight. Do you agree with Simon there?
I do agree with Simon Jordan. It's bad for the sport because let's play devil's advocate again. What if something bad happens in this fight? Where does that leave boxing? In the gutter. So from that perspective, the fight shouldn't be happening, but it's going to happen. And like I say, let's just hope both guys can go off to their families with their health intact.
Definitely. Now, last one, Duke. I saw Cal Froch said, I don't know if you've seen Jake sparring this week, but I think it was Frank Sanchez, Jared Anderson, and Lawrence Akoli. Fox said there's no way these guys are actually sparring and they're just being paid to tap around and stuff. Do you think this is a real sparring camp? Do you think they're going in there doing hard rounds with Jake Paul, or is it not what it seems?
No. The sparring partners are sparring partners for a reason. When you bring in a sparring partner, they're under orders. And if they're under orders in this particular fight, then these sparring partners have been told, but under no uncertain terms, to go easy. Go through the motions. Don't try and put it on him. And so I would be in agreement with Carl Froch in that perspective, saying that it will be a very tame sparring session because they just want to be able to say they sparred with genuine heavyweights. They don't want to be able to say they've had wars with the heavyweights and this guy's really prepared. And you can't really prepare for Anthony Joshua. Lawrence Okoli isn't good preparation in my eyes for Anthony Joshua. Their styles are completely different.
Yeah.